Back on Tide Talks, presented by RWJ Barnabas Health, proud to be the official healthcare system of Princeton Athletics. Joining us from her home in Skaneateles, New York via Skype, Princeton lacrosse junior attack Kyla Sears. Kyla, thanks for taking some time.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Cody.
I know it was an abbreviated season. The Tigers only played 5 games. I want to go back to Villanova, that behind-the-back goal. Walk us through that play.
Yeah, it was a while ago, but it was just a really heads-up play by attacker, senior captain Katie Riley. She just saw me and thought I had a little less time than I did, and yeah, it was just a fun one to throw in there, and really, it was a great game.
On a play like that, I mean, at what point do you realize, okay, I'm going to have to try this and go behind the back, or is that something that just happens on the fly and you just sort of realize what you did after the fact?
A little after the fact. It kind of comes when you realize that you're going to lose a lot of the area to a certain degree of the angle on the cage. So hopefully it just comes a little in time when you need it, but very thankful that it went in.
You're a junior, so obviously you still have a year left at Princeton. What have you been doing since you can't be on campus? How have you been making sure you're staying in lacrosse shape?
Yeah, so it's been very interesting. Obviously, a lot of gyms are closed. A lot of fields have been locked up for obvious health and safety reasons. So my whole team has been getting really creative about how we're staying in physical shape, how we're keeping our sticks in our hands. It's a lot of wall ball wherever we can sneak it in, running wherever we can, a lot of body weight circuits. So it's been really interesting, kind of fun, a good break from what we have when we're at school.
How about on the academic side? Obviously, classes going virtual, finishing out the semester the next couple of weeks. How have your classes adjusted to being off campus?
It's definitely an adjustment. Everybody has been doing all their classes online. We've been trying to have team meetings on Zoom as well. But I think we should attribute a lot to all the professors at Princeton who have made the transition as painless as possible. They've really been there, been available for us whenever we need it over video, Skype, FaceTime, Zoom, most of it. So yeah, it's been better than we would have expected, I think.
The Ivy League tournament would have been this past weekend. So a year ago this week, your Tigers won the Ivy League title with a championship game victory at Columbia against the Penn Quakers. Second straight year you took down Penn to win the Ivy League title. You had 7 points in that championship game. Certainly a rainy day in Manhattan. What do you remember about that game and that tournament?
I remember the rain. It was constant, whether downpour, just misting the entire game. It made it so much fun. Penn, coming to play Penn at a kind of neutral site. It's always fun. There's such a big rival game. We enjoy playing them every year. Would have loved to have played them this year, but that game, I just remember kind of all the pieces coming together, our whole team really firing on all cylinders, and it was a great victory. Loved the whole day.
Kyla Sears, a junior from Princeton Women's Lacrosse, joining us from the comfort of home, presented by Conway Comfort Heating and Cooling. From upstate New York, certainly a lacrosse hotbed, and on the show and tell portion of this interview, you have something that sort of exemplifies that. What do you got?
Yeah, I do. So my grandfather, who went to Princeton, he was so excited when I committed to play lacrosse there. He actually had this made. So I live pretty close to the Onondaga, a Native American reservation. So he asked a friend of his to make this for me. Really brings the game back to its roots. And it's just a nice thing I have in my room all the time, kind of a reminder of him and a reminder of the sport that we all love so much.
You just mentioned your grandfather's a Princeton graduate. At what point did you realize that you were going to go to Princeton and this was the right fit for you?
I believe my sophomore fall, I made the verbal commitment. It was a really long and hard decision of where I wanted to spend the next 4 years and obviously the rest of my time playing lacrosse. And while my grandfather was a huge influence on me and why I wanted to go to the school there to further obviously the great academic education that I've gotten, also just the coaching staff, the athletic facilities, their dedication to education through athletics, everything about it. I've loved my decision ever since.
You guys only got to play 5 games this year before the season was cut short. Last year, you took it all the way to the NCAA quarterfinals. Princeton lacrosse, a storied program. You have a year left, but these seniors that didn't get to finish out their season because it was cut short due to coronavirus, What has this senior class meant to you?
This is something I think my class specifically, my whole team has thought a lot about these last couple months. And we've tried to express to our seniors as best we could how big of an impact they have had to us in such probably a record short season. They've really made a monumental impact on our team and our program, I think. So just following in their footsteps, trying to carry on the legacy of the culture that they left this team, I think is going to be priority number one for my class heading into our senior year. Hopefully finding success along the way, but I think we've realized that it's a lot deeper than just playing, and it's the people that we're surrounded with.
Anyone who's been to a women's lacrosse game at Princeton in 1952 Stadium has probably gotten there early and had a chance to catch you singing the national anthem. When did that start?
I actually started doing that in high school, playing for Skinny Atlas High School. I was involved in some chorus groups, and one day when our speakers died, thought, well, maybe I could just step in and sing it, and kind of did it ever since. And yeah, I love it. I realized it takes away a lot of my pregame jitters. I focus on the singing and then can just play. That's the easy, fun part. So I enjoyed it a lot.
Kyla Sears, a junior on the Princeton women's lacrosse team. Kyla, appreciate you taking a few minutes, and stay healthy and safe.
Yeah, thank you so much. You too.